Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this broadcast here in the Issues Room. Tonight is our 204th edition. It's a pleasure having you in our company tonight, wherever you are. We ask you to please let us know you're here. Um, just coming, join us. Tonight conversation will be another good one. We'll be discussing the president-elect and how people have been very condescending toward him. Uh, you know, just meaning, they decided overwhelmingly. And when I use the word overwhelmingly, it says 50 plus 1% of the vote, but that was more than 1% of the vote. When I say 1%, one vote, I meant to say. So Mr. Boakai became president not by his, might, not by his eloquence, not by how he presented himself. Not that he's a young, handsome guy. Um, I believe that he came to the presidency because he's ordained by God. George Weah came to the presidency because it was ordained by God. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and I just think that God has His hand in everything we do in this life. And so, for anyone to think that, this president doesn't deserve to be where he is, and they continue to say he's ill, that he will die soon. In fact, he uses pacemaker and this and that, and his health is in question. I think it's just overly done, and that is why we want to have this conversation tonight. Because at the end of the day, what God has purposed and planned and delivered upon, there's nothing you can do to change. There's nothing that I can do to change. And no one knows tomorrow. It's a fact. No one knows tomorrow. So for people to continue to elevate the conversation on President-elect Boakai's health and elevate the conversation on he may die soon, he may not end the presidency, and the fulfilling prophecy here is that Jeremiah Kuhn will become president if Mr. Boakai dies, and then Prince Johnson is one step to the presidency. All of that, I find it preposterous, because God doesn't put us in condition to leave us lingering. He puts us in condition, in places to deliver. And when you get that opportunity and don't deliver on the opportunity, then it's completely what the plan was. But we cannot continue to always, jump to conclusion. So tonight we're going to be having that conversation. So we want to encourage you. Thank you, Washington Dolo, rather, for coming in here. Hashim Fambule. It's a pleasure watching from Allentown. And I know your end is very cold because I was in the King of Prussia area. It's cold. People preempting probably might have some snow flurries here and there, but it's cold tonight here in Pennsylvania. So I'd like to welcome you wherever you are. No, Moses Sandy is still trying to get set, and he'll be momentarily joined in the conversation. But tonight is our 204th broadcast. So many things happening in Liberia. President-elect Joe Boakai is in the United States, and also outgoing President George Weah. I'm almost forgetting the guy's name. Quite frankly, he mean to tell me the man even leave here. I'm almost forgetting the name. I'm thinking who the outgoing president. My people here forgive me, but the outgoing president, George Weah is I'm still going blank. George Weah is in Dubai. So both men are out of the country. I don't know who's making their cases where, but we will, talk about Boakai's his health, that people continue to propound the message of his early death, like they have his life in their hands, and how they're looking at the old order to return, and so let's just look at it from that perspective, and again there is a picture trending on social media where the president-elect and his wife is they are sandwiching Stanton Witherspoon, and there's a lot of conversation going around what the optics, how should this happen, you know. So again, we're gonna have a great conversation tonight. Now, Fudgemoni, what do you mean? That speaks great volume of the show. What that means? You gotta don't be don't come here with jabs and not throw it. All right, don't come here with jabs. I can go blank. I mean, I can go blank. So if you say because I said I'm already forgetting who the outgoing president is, and that becomes an issue with the show, then I want to know what's going on, my brother, because I can go blank, and I'm a human being. It just was not coming. I mean, yeah, I slept and I forgot who the president was. All right, and but anyway, welcome Moses. Adia,
Yeah.
welcome to the show. Good to see you, my brother.
Yes. Thank you for kind of again. We have come this time to discuss another important topic of the day, a series of topics of the day. Um, it's good being here. Let me join you to welcome our many viewers wherever they are. Join us. It's a pleasure being here with you. Kindly do us a favor by sharing the link. Invite more friends and share the link. In the issues room, we educate, we entertain, we inform, we bring you the news of the day. So that's why you just cannot afford to stay away. This is not a typical gossip shop. When we come here, we talk about the issues that matter most. So once again, it's a pleasure, and please invite more friends. For Canada, I'm ready to roll.
All right, so let's start quickly with we're gonna be discussing the sentiments and condescending nature around President Boakai's health and how many Liberians are showing opposition. And when I say opposition, is because now he's the president elect, so
Mhm.
he's now about to take the driver's seat. People have questioned his age, his age over time. He just celebrated his birthday on the 30th of this month, and I believe he turned 79, if I'm not mistaken, 79. So by the time he takes seat, he's 79, and he will be 85 at the end of his seat. Uh, Moses, tell me honestly, we'll come to other things, but I just want to start from there first.
Yeah,
A person between 79 and 85, are they incompetent to do anything? Whether lead, whether read, whether speak, whether just do anything by nature?
of course not.
Okay.
Of course not. You know, I think the question that we need to ask ourselves is why do we celebrate every year birthday? We look forward to our natal day every year because the older you become, the mature you become, you gain wisdom. That's why in most developed society, anyone who is 14 cannot make informed decision. I cannot tell my 12-year-old, to sign a legal document. If you volcano, you make my 12-year-old to sign a legal document committing me
Mhm.
to any kind of a legal issue under the law, that would not be considered or binding because she lacks the capability to rationalize or understand what she did. So to be able to sign a legal document, you must be more than 14 years old. So the point I'm driving here is the older we become, the more wisdom. And don't get me wrong, sometimes some older people make terrible decisions, but that doesn't mean that when you are 70 or when you are 75 or you are 80, it means that you would not be able to make the informed decision. No,
So it boils down to how you cared for yourself.
absolutely.
It boils down to how you continue to be involved. And this president elect has been involved in the process. And uh, you know, so I'm kind of worried here when people continue to not even give the opportunity to this president to see what he's made out of. Um, I'm also worried why people will jump to conclusion as to this man is not fit, this man could die, and this person would be closer to the presidency. So all of these things, how are we to move our country when we continue to have pessimistic thoughts and myopic way of thinking to the point that we're not able to even allow God, who brought the decision to pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
To take the course, to lead the process.
Yeah. Um, the election of Mr. Boakai as president. Yes, it is true that his supporters did the work. They spent a lot of money as well, like the ruling party, like Alexander Comey and all the rest of the guys.
No, no, go back.
But
Use the word spend a lot of money because then it
no,
would
but
be it would yeah, but a lot of money compared to
okay, let me say they spend money. Let me just minimize it. Everybody spend money,
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
But they are the point I'm trying to drive here, and as a religious person, I believe in predestination, Volcano. It doesn't mean that you should not make effort. You can make the effort, but when that time comes, nothing stops it. Can you imagine Volcano in a third world country, a political party going against an incumbent leadership that spent more than $50 million, literally bribing the electors, and to see this man emerge, even Alexander Cummings, who got less than 2% of the votes, he spent more money than Mr. Boakai. Cummings spent billions of dollars. He got less than 2%. So to see this man evolve from amongst 19 presidential hopefuls, including the incumbent, I think it was destined.
And that's
I
why
may be wrong,
and
but
but that's
yeah.
why that's why
Mhm.
when we go back into the history of our country, some of the things that we could consider speculations, they're coming to pass.
Of course, yeah.
Like the writings of Michael Bacala Francis. You saw the writings.
Hmm.
It talked about how the country will go through a tumultuous period
Right.
and then it would decline, and then a young man would become president and they will hail him as the king.
King,
You
yeah.
saw it. Just a
Hmm.
statement that President Weah was the best president in 1847 is a travesty, right? It is. It is.
Absolutely, yeah.
And to say that, so that tells you that they're hailing him as a king. Baku, you the strongest. Baku, you the this.
Yeah.
So that was part of. So when I go back to reading those things, in as much as we may not think that whether it was Bagala Francis who said it, maybe somebody just
Hmm.
projected that through prophecy. But when you listen to that and read that rather, and then go back into the testimony of Mother Dukley, and this was long before we even came to our civil war,
Yeah.
and then we go through the civil war, and then we have all of these, and then it said a young man would take the country, he would run it down the drain, but it would be a statesman that will come
To stabilize.
to stabilize the country. And so I think when you look at the journey here that we're about to embark upon, the rescue journey, Moses, Liberia was sunk.
Of course. In fact, my man, you
Liberia
know it
was,
better than I do. Yeah.
and so I don't see much happening in terms of infrastructural development. What I see in these next 6 years will be putting us back on a
Of
structure.
course. Yeah.
And then 2029, someone can take the structure built and just go with it. So it's the preparation of the blueprint that would take our country from this backwardsness, from this darkness, from all this hate. And I'm optimistic that as we make progress in these next 6 years, that will make us regain some kind of leverage in the international community, some kind of presence out there, some kind of invitation to say, yes, now Liberia has arrived. I am hoping that 2029 will be the most consequential elections. It
Oh
won't be
yeah.
this
Very
election
important. Yeah.
because the playing field will be so open. There will not be the
Okay. Yeah.
old order. There will not be the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf no more. I'm not sure how long she's going to be here, but hopefully she's here that long. She wouldn't have the influence because this election proves
But
that she
even
doesn't have
if
the influence,
even
right?
if we can even if she's alive,
Yeah,
how much influence will she
that's what I'm
make?
saying. But this
Yeah.
election proves that she didn't have the influence, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In as much as everything that happened, God decided, and that's what He wanted. But I'm thinking here that the old folks only have the influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Praise John, because there will be a new breed of politicians, new breed of independent. A lot of folks are eyeing 2029. And
Absolutely.
whether the presidency, the legislature, whatever it is, we must have a structure that they can come to build upon. Otherwise, it's useless.
Yeah.
I'm thinking here to myself that President-Elect Boakai should form a team that will develop a blueprint. He has his what's this called, arrest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Arrest. Yeah.
his vision.
Yeah.
If they can plug those things in place, have that print, lay it out, start the groundwork, and once you build a firm foundation, you can put how many story on the house.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping for, and I'm hoping that that happens so that at the end of the 6 years we can have something to build upon. But Liberia was actually sunk. Liberia was sunk, and where we are now, it's like starting all over. Just imagine the pictures you're looking at, the dirt they're cleaning from the country.
Yeah. Right.
That to tell you how sunk the country
Well,
was or is, because we haven't done much yet.
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So
everything.
just
Everything was in crisis, my
the
man.
dirt in the country would
Yeah.
tell you how sunk the country has gotten to that point of lowest, ebb. And it's something that all of us should rally now as Liberians to come together to talk about how we can project the kind of contribution to move our country forward. Because what good it is for us to continue to be so divisive. The place is small, and the place can consume all of us as 5 point something million people, even 6 million. Carry it up. The place can consume us. But when we sit out here and continue to propagate the kind, and people will say here tonight, oh, that you can talk now. But what can we say about Boakai when he has not taken power?
Nothing we can say.
Our hands are tied. We can't say anything about Boakai. We
No.
could have said things about George Weah, lack of ability to do what he was asked to do, the mandate given to him. We could speak of it, but we can't speak of it now. So, all of this coming from Moses about this old man's health, and he's in America now. The way he came here, he came for a medical checkup. You were talking. You said somebody posted something on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you,
Look.
you wanted to discuss that.
Yeah. I would like for us to touch on that. But quickly, I just want to say that you raised a very salient point that today's Liberia is at its lowest ebb. The country is making no progress. And when we talk about this volcano, it just reminds me of 2014 when you, other colleagues, and I, we saw the idea that our organization that we believe in, the Association of Liberian Journalists, that had crumbled after 10 years, we say we can't let this happen. We step up to the place. Then you were chair of the board. And we said we will fight to pump blood into this organization. And today we are proud. We laid the foundation with the collective support of everyone. We laid a foundation. Today, AJA is the most respectable, the most respected organization for Liberians in the diaspora. AJA is even more respected and honored as compared to the president of Liberia that is in Liberia. So it took a lot of hard work, and that's what I think Liberians are determined to do. You heard the people talk about the rescue. Everything in the country is in shambles. Health, education, rule of law. Volcano, you can tell these stories better than I do because you go to the country on a consistent basis. So that's why this incoming administration, has a lot of work to do. This is not like you walk in the park. This is not going to be a walk in the park. It's everything destroyed, you're going to rebuild. So you rebuild, lay the foundation for whoever that comes 2029, that person will have a smooth sail. That's where I agree with you that 2029 will be consequential. It will absolutely be consequential. Now let's come back to the whole story regarding the president-elect's health. You know, Volcano, one thing that continues to haunt our country is hate, self-centeredness, greed. These are all negative verses that continue to haunt Liberia in a terrible way. And one of the greedy person we have in our country, one of the person who believes that if anything doesn't center around him, it's not good, is our own young friend and brother, Henry Costa.
Mm.
Mr. Costa is the one who has repeatedly propagated this message that Ome Boakai will die tomorrow.
Mm.
I need not go into history regarding some of the negative comments he made against the president-elect when the election, when they were gearing off for the first round and the second round. What did he not say? The man will die. He fed the man. He was in control. The man is not fit to be president. After the UP in recent days announced that the president-elect was making a trip to the United States,
Mm-hmm.
what did Mr. Costa do? He took to social media and wrote something very disparaging. He even said that, well, I think it is time that Liberians begin to pray
Mm.
because the most critical thing is about to happen. Mr. Costa, do you really have to go to this level? Why would you continuously wish someone's evil? And the mistake Mr. Costa is making is that no one has control over life and death. You can talk to somebody today, or you can talk to somebody in a few seconds. You enter your bedroom, you lie on your bed, and you die. You can get in your vehicle, you drive down the street, you run into an accident, you die. When I say you, I'm not talking about you, Henry Costa. I'm speaking collectively. Anybody can die at any time. Henry Costa and some other, hateful individuals are repeatedly propagating this message that Mr. Boakai trip to the United States is for a medical purpose. Let's agree that Mr. Boakai even came to the United States to see medical attention. What's the crime about that? What's evil about Volcano Shelton, our Moses Sandy, going to see our primary provider to check the status of our health? What's evil about that? What's evil about an elected president coming to the United States to say, you know what, I need to see my primary care provider because when I go back to Liberia, it's going to be a lot of work. I may not have that time. What's evil about that? What will Mr. Costa gain? What will the many who are propagating this anti-Boakai message that this man will die tomorrow? What will they gain by repeatedly saying that death is nearer for him? What will they gain? Henry Costa, because what? You were not selected as vice presidential pick? What do you stand to bring to the table? The decision to elect a vice presidential pick was not
Like, mean
just,
select.
yeah, presidential select, to select, yeah. That decision, Oben Boakai took a lot into consideration, or the UP took a lot into consideration. I'm sure they look at all of the candidates. It is true that your name, Henry Costa, was on the list. You were being vetted.
But who? You see, Moses. I even say it was true.
Oh,
Who put him
well,
on list?
Mr. Costa himself announced that.
But he said it, so now don't say it was true. Waga,
Okay,
Waga,
let's say Mr. Costa
hold on, hold on,
reportedly
hold on,
said,
hold on, hold on. Waga son Jojo said
yeah,
that even up to the eve, he did not know who his
we
father,
that were gonna pick.
and no one in the party knew who the father was going to pick.
Mhm.
So let us not say, yeah, the men who were on any list. The
I
man,
agree. I
the man,
surrender, sir.
yeah,
I
the
surrender.
man, the man better not you make that name on the list
Yeah, yeah.
to throw a monkey wrench in the whole.
Yeah. Look, Henry Costa need to take a closer look at himself. I mean, for him to repeatedly preach this anti-Boakai message, he did that for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Yet the old man won the presidency.
But let's stop there, Moses. We'll come back to it, but let's stop there.
Yes.
So the young man Henry Costa
Mhm.
did same with President Weah, right?
Oh yeah.
When things didn't go his way,
Mhm.
when the money he was expecting to receive on a monthly basis for him to propagate the message
No,
for
it's
CDC,
easy. Yeah.
it didn't go well with him. He decided that he will walk away and he will mudsling, right?
Yeah.
So over the years, he seems so emphatic. I mean, I would tell you when Henry Costa made all of those, affirmations and swears about the fact
Die.
never
Yeah.
support we are, and if the day it happens, he should die.
He should
It
die.
is the
Yeah.
grace of God that got all of us here for the
I'm telling you.
fact that when we swear globally, because that's a global swear,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, it
this
wasn't
did not
done in
happen
secret.
in the house, that global swear. And when you do that, and God still grants you the grace to be here, then how much more about a man who is 79 years old, who has lived through the calamities of life, through the trials and tribulations of life, and he's that far. What make you to think that by your assertion or personal assertion that, oh, this man would die or this man health is
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
questionable and blah blah blah? You're not a medical practitioner.
No.
All of the things you're talking about, doctors can make mistakes. Doctor can make misdiagnose a person, right?
Oh, yes.
But the point I'm making here, and you come back quickly, is that
Go ahead.
the same way you disparagingly talked about we are, to the point that it was a complete belief that Costa would never go back to that camp. And only in few weeks to the elections, you flipped 360 degrees, took some money, and then with confidence, with flog You and your boys, the Ben Sanvi, the Tomilin George, and dancing and parading in this luxury suite they got for you. And God's just smiling because He's made His decision already. And He's smiling.
Yeah, smiling at them.
And only to slap you guys in the face and say, hey, you don't make the ultimate decision. I'm God.
Decision. He made it.
I'm God. No matter how much money spent, I'm God. No matter how much earthly power you want to flaunt, I'm God. That should be a lesson. That should be a lesson. If I were Henry Costas, I would be quiet and I would seek forgiveness first from God and then find my way to Uyghur and just ask for Omen Boakai's grace
That's well.
and forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Not for money, not for getting anything.
Just for forgiveness. Yeah.
But all you're doing, you're just hating yourself further. You're hating yourself further because the Bible is clear on how we get blessings. We get blessings when the older people lay their hands on us. Why you think with all the nonsense you are how Taylor can talk? So let's see the publisher of poor here there for you to touch it.
Of course. Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All the crap you are how talking all right. You know hear what talk say? You
No.
know hear what talk?
No.
But she
Just surrender.
as you poor.
But Volcano, and you saw her when the old man went to the executive mansion.
I'm saying?
The woman
So the point I'm
surrender.
making here, it doesn't have to be your parent to bless you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who is older than you, anyone. So all of the things that you did with this president-elect, you came out here and you talk all because you don't want to make it to all that. All you talk, you didn't leave anything behind.
Yeah.
You talk all. God still moved from behind all that talking.
Yeah.
And God said, my decision is final.
It's fine.
And He gave the presidency to this old man. Why are you still hoping for him to die?
Can you imagine
Why are you
that?
still talking about his medical condition? If we check, I probably fit more than you. Because I will say this, and then you come in, Moses.
Yeah, go ahead.
The truth of the matter here is the president has the best health care.
Of course.
And you, Henry Costard. Even with me who work and paying for my health care is not comparable to what Joseph Boakai will have starting January 22nd. He's going to have the best health care. But here's the other important thing I want to make here. The president has the right to go to any country during his visit and ask to meet a doctor.
His provider, yeah.
No, it's not his provider. To meet with a doctor.
Yeah.
On internal medicine, person, your family, just to do some checkups.
Yeah.
That's part of his perks. That's part of his perks. So he can go anywhere. Anytime he travels, he can seek medical checkups. It's part of his perks. And especially at his age, you want to catch things that you think all the trips that we have made, he's not going to see doctors? Oh, yes, he is. He's going to visit doctors in those countries, do his checkup. If like even quick checkups, he does that. So for people to think that he is not entitled to that, you're mistaken. First, let me reiterate, the president-elect will have the best insurance, healthcare insurance, paid for by the tax dollars of the Liberian people. He has the right, whenever he does overseas travels, to meet with a specialist, maybe for his eye, meet with a specialist for his heart, meet with whoever. And all of that is paid for. So when you stay, you even got a job, and you even got health care, but you're wishing for somebody to die, you need to think twice. Let me bring Alphonso in quick, then you'll continue.
Yeah, I mean,
welcome to the show.
Thank you, brothers. I'm sorry once again. I'm stuck in this contract negotiation meeting, so
yeah,
I will
it's
be
understandable.
I will be doing two things here. They might, when they call upon me to make a presentation, I might jump out. But I didn't want to miss this show at all. So, but thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Moses will
Thank you, Alfonso.
just continue on and then we'll come
Yeah,
back. So we're discussing the component of all of this condescending talk about President-elect's health and his
yeah,
travel to the US. Oh yeah, y'all will see for yourself. The
yeah.
milk,
He coming down. Yeah. I
that's
mean,
what we're discussing. So
Okay. Yeah.
Volcano. That's really mean. It's very, very mean of a young man who has lost his future because of personal ego.
over 30 pieces of silver.
Everything must be about Henry Custom. When it is not about him, it is not good. What did he not tell Liberians about George Weah? What did he not tell Liberians about Omer Joseph Boakai in 2017? And they say Omer brought him in. He became one of the foremost powerful presidents. Anyone who wanted to make a contact, even when Mr. Boakai came to the United States, when the issue room requested for an interview, we were told to talk to Henry Costa.
Can you imagine that?
He was the immediate, the most prominent person that you could talk to have an access to the old man. So I think Henry Costa is grieving. He's so desperate. He's so confused that the opportunity that he had, that hope has been dashed.
Moses, thank you.
Yes.
Everything happens for a reason in this life.
Yeah.
Everything. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe the proximity of Henry Costa to Omen Boakai would have been a disaster anywhere in his 6 years. So maybe that's why God decided to remove him from that astute position he was in. Because the man had access.
Very, very
You understand?
important.
So God does everything for a reason.
Yeah.
That's my thought. Alfonso.
Go ahead, Alfonso.
Yeah, no. Again, once again, thank you. Yeah, all of this thing about he's coming to die, people wishing other people to die, I think it's ridiculous. It's really heartless and it's horrible, especially so an elected president of a country. Joseph Boakai is no longer a candidate for any political party. He's president-elect of the Republic of Liberia. In about a month, he's supposed to take his seat as president of the Republic of Liberia and steer the ship of the country. And we all should be rooting for him to be healthy. We all should be rooting for him to be vibrant and run the country the way we want it. What democracies are is that at the end of the day, the majority of the people decides. And when the majority of the people decide, the minority comes along and works together to make sure that the country succeeds. And Mr. Boakai, as I said, is president now by January 14, 22nd, I think, president of the country. And no matter who you are, if you are not, if you're rooting for him to die so that the country falls into chaos, then you really are not a patriotic citizen. Then you really don't love the country. Because to be honest, we all know that the Barack administration will be taking this country out of a deep, deep, deep hole, and to be praying for another situation of instability, because when the president dies and somebody else takes over, there is a period of instability. Even families, there's a period of instability when the leader of the family or the leader of a group dies. So, and if anybody out there praying for instability, that person is not a patriotic Liberian, and that person deserves to be condemned, especially wishing other human beings death. Praying that people die. Go on radio and whatever it is, so and say he's coming to die or she's coming to die or we wish he dies or she dies. That's the worst that any human being, a citizen of a country, should be doing to that country and to its leaders. In this great United States, a lot of people didn't like Donald Trump, but they were praying for him to live. Donald Trump was rushed to the military hospital when he had COVID, and everybody was around and praying and hoping that he lives. That's what patriotism is. That's what being a human being is, and it's so horrible to see Liberians wishing and praying that other people die.
Yes, and I think you're right. And honestly, when you look at the whole situation with the president-elect and how he came to power, you can see that irrespective of all of the hurdles threw at him from 2017 all through these elections, a man who, and just decided that he will relax. And Heron Costa said he resurrected Omer Baga.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took him out of his closet and brought him back to the limelight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you have done all that work, why weren't you patient? If you said you were close to this man, that the proximity was so close, gentlemen, you have read through the lines and be patient.
Of course.
And even in all of this, you decided to jump ship because you thought the Titanic was sinking. And you decided to jump ship and you jump on the Mayflower, not knowing that the Mayflower was going to sink. And yes, the Titanic still going slowly, but surely. All you need to do, jump off the doggone Mayflower and swim back to the Titanic. The people have said it over and over. There's still room on the tree. How much it takes a man who can show contrition for his sin and repent of his sin is a genuine man. But when you want to continue to make noise and you want to act like you're relevant, that's a problem. And I see guys, they're all on social media. Some guys say now the next thing they're all they're gonna do be man cussing.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally come on social media and making these declarations.
Mm-hmm.
I see another guy just write gibberish, nonsense all day, 24/7. All because he doesn't know which camp he was supposed to be in. He got so confused, jumping from here and there. Then he said he brought we out of power, so he going back to we are, and now everything fall apart. So now Boakai are his enemy. What
Yeah.
nonsense is
Anything
this?
about Boakai is evil. Yeah.
You cannot. All the time when we came here to talk, we're not discussing George Weah
Health.
and calling him a monster and all of that. What we're discussing, we're
100%.
discussing George Weah ineptability, the things he failed to do, the things he had control of to take actions. In fact, we put for advice to Mr. Weah. We told him some things that he needed to do. That's why we're here. Not to go personal, to start cursing somebody, insulting somebody. Even was it I frowned with you one time when you said, man, read out of third grade. I said, oh, man, don't do it. The man reading out the United Nations, we never had a third grader read at the United Nations, right? But we were looking at the issue and the substance. That's what we do in the issues room,
Yeah. Yeah. Look at the substance.
and that's what I'm concerned about. So why come on social media just to talk about somebody in denigrating ways?
Yeah.
And this person will be your president no matter what you decide. It has happened. I mean, the decision, the verdict has been made. Even the people who now say they're leading for the next 6 weeks, they just set packing the bags. Because at the end of the day, it's obvious. You gotta go.
Yeah. You gotta.
So why don't you come with positive podcast until the government takes place or takes its position rather, and then start screwing up? Then you can.
Yeah. You
But
have
you
something to say.
Yeah, but right now you got nothing to say.
No.
The man has not even sat in the chair yet, but you still talking nonsense.
Yeah, you're praying for him to die. No. Can you imagine going to church to pray for somebody to die? And you forget to know that you yourself
No,
you are vulnerable.
They're acting like the only funeral home. Because the people who should be praying for people to die, the people that own funeral home, gentlemen.
They said, man,
There's no way they can make money.
yeah, they said, my man, we got a phone call today. Two bodies are coming in, and the boss
So
start
you
doing that
see, guys,
mouthful.
yeah, that's what happens when people don't have ideas. That's what happens when political parties are not based upon ideas and ideologies about programs about how to move the country and the society forward, but it's based upon individuals, it's based upon envy and petty jealousy. So when they get confronted with the real issues, they have no ideas to compete. You just said it, Volcano and Moses.
Mhm.
At this point now, the issue should be about policies and programs.
Yes.
Why to start attacking Boakai's policies and programs and agendas and the people he's appointing and those kinds of things? That's what we should be doing now. Not
Yeah.
whether he should go in and praying that he should die or he should get sick, he should have a stroke, he should have all of that. But people who do that, the reason they do those things is because they can't come up with any ideas that will compete with the ideas that are on the table. And we've saw it for the past 6 years. There were no ideas on the table. There were no
But
ideas. I mean, tell me which real policy was on the table for the past 6 years in terms of
nothing,
creating
man.
jobs, in
Man,
terms of
Alfonso,
improving the economy, in terms of improving healthcare, in terms of improving education. Where were the policies? There's no, but the only education policy I heard of is we pay YFEs, which is not a policy. For some,
It's an
schools don't have
initiative.
teachers.
That's an
Yeah,
initiative. It's not a
exactly.
policy.
a
Yeah,
woman,
but
the man just
the
woke up and
schools
look at
don't,
his car.
but the schools don't have teachers. The teacher training academies are in the country are all closing down. You go to Nigeria, you say you want to bring Nigerian teachers. They never came. Then you say you're paying for YFEs and the children going in the night. I go on Facebook. Go on Facebook and read Facebook and see university, college students, law school graduates, what they write on Facebook, the English they speak.
So
So what does
terrible.
it mean to pay YFEs when you're not even giving the children quality education, when you're not giving them the foundation? There's a guy who is a lawyer. He's on Facebook all the time. I'm not going to say his name. And he wrote something. I took it to my 12-year-old. I said, read this. She read it. I said, you see any problem with it? A little girl pick up 6 problems in 2 sentences that a man wrote.
A
But
lawyer.
this is one of the big CDC men who writes on Facebook all the times. So again, what is it that our education system has basically crumbled? Healthcare system, you all heard it, $100,000 a year sent to a hospital to run for the whole year. We had
Hospital.
Dr. Zia here. What did he say? Mental health. Only
Yeah,
one
thirty
mental health
thousand.
facility in Nigeria. Wh- What what's the capacity of that mental health facility according to Dr. Zia?
I think common there's like maybe 15 to 20 persons.
15 to 20 people. Mental
Mhm,
a country that's coming out of 15 years of civil war.
mhm.
So clearly they had no policies, and so they can't compete with the policies that are on the table. So they will just be insulting. Somebody said, "What? We will do audit and account for the country's resources." You said that witch hunt. All that says is you have no ideas, you have no policies. All you've been doing for the past 6 years is simply plundering the country. That's the first time I have heard a president of a country. The role of the president is to protect the resources of the country, to make sure that they are accounted for and applied to the good of the country. To say, oh, we can steal it and don't come after we come after all, then I wish one, and then
Mhm.
we will undermine the peace. We will fight and we will tackle it because we're supposed to steal and nothing's supposed to happen. So a child will not even say that. Your child in the house. If you tell the child said this bag of peanut are leaving here when I come, it must be correct. The child will not say, no, don't tell me say it must be correct. When you say it must correct, then we'll fail. That's basically what the people are saying. That is the
Yeah.
tragedy we've had in the
Mhm.
past 6 years. And it's sad. So, yes, they will say what they're saying. They will pray for people to die because, again, they have no ideas to put on the table to compete with the ideas and the programs and the vision that have been placed on the table. That's why the problem is. That's my
And, and,
assessment of it.
and you know what's interesting here, Moses and Alfonso?
Mhm.
the president-elect is a devout Christian, a man
Yeah.
who has, uh, served God for all his life, right?
Hmm.
And you think that this man is not praying because he became president? He's praying. But interestingly, do you know how many people are praying for him? Let me give you an
Several.
example of this man being
Father God,
able to pray.
we thank you for this day. We thank you for this great church,
Yeah. Hmm.
the membership, the leaders. We thank you for the opportunity to be here today. You have ordained this day many years ago. We commit our nation, Liberia, to you. You know what we're going through. The nation you have blessed with resources. The nation you have blessed with kind-hearted people. But a nation that has turned away from you. We pray that this nation be brought back to you, Jesus. Our people all over the world are yearning to go back home, the place they call home. We pray that you give them that home. Pray that you bless their children. We pray that you bless our land. That we recommit ourselves to serving you, to do those things that you want us to do, to make our country that blessing that you want it to be. We commit all to you, and we pray that what we say today, what we ask of you, will be granted in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Listen to that prayer.
Yeah.
If we want to go through that prayer, just the prayer, Moses, um, and just look at some of the things, the key pointers in the prayer. He prayed for the country. He prayed for the citizens.
Yeah.
He prayed for us in the diaspora who longing to go back home. He prayed for our children. He mentioned that our land, our country had turned away from God and that we must come back to God.
Yeah.
He prayed for forgiveness of the country. He talked about good-hearted people are
Mhm.
still in the country, a country that is so blessed with wealth. He prayed that we must turn away from our sins and recommit. Then, in closing, he said, grant us all these things, Lord.
Yeah.
That's a consummate Christian, a man who doesn't just pray for rest and go to bed.
No.
Not a man who praying for money to go in his pocket.
Hmm.
There's a man who praying for his country
To thrive.
to be delivered.
Mhm.
So that tells you this president would pray before he goes to bed. This president would pray when he wakes up. This president would pray when he gets to his office. This president would pray when he faced with decisions to make for the nation. That's profound. That
Absolutely.
is absolutely profound to have a statesman of his caliber. They have looked on all the different things they want to talk about here. Oh, the man, the man, the man, the man, the man. That's all they can say. But when it comes to the man's character, what type of man, gentlemen, let's talk so now. What type of man who served, say, 40 years plus
Hmm.
in government, he ain't got nothing to show. You see how we stupid people? He
Yeah.
ain't got nothing to show.
Yeah. But how we
The
talk in Liberia?
man has
Yeah.
lived in his house for more than the 40 years.
Hmm.
He became vice president. He could have gone and built a skyscraper,
Like George, we are. You know.
but he remained in his house. He lived by the salary the government paid him, and he lived by that. Isn't that the man you want to be your president? Because I'm wondering here whether Joe Boakai going to go to the mansion or is he going to turn his house into a skyscraper now that he's president? Or he's going to be content in his little house but he just want to serve the country for 6 years? Or do you want him to be like the George Weah who broke down his 9th Street house and put up a Mediterranean palace? A Mediterranean palace. Is that what you glorified, Liberian people? Are these the kind of leaders you glorify? You got a man here who is so humble. Look at this man. Oh, the man getting dressed. Look at his clothes and be for him. But listen here, my people. You want a man to be bluffing in purple suit like John we are? Wearing $10,000 shoes? Or do you want him to lead your country out of this degradation? Do you want him to pray for your country? Do you want him to pray for your children's in the future? Gentlemen, I don't know what else to
Do
say.
you
I,
do you
I,
do,
Me,
do
I don't know
yeah.
what. Yeah, I don't know what else
No,
we can.
that's it.
Yeah, I don't know what else.
You you
I don't know what else.
you hit
You got a
you
praying
hit the
president.
nail.
Praying
Yeah,
president.
you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, do you want a president who will put programs and policies into jobs, so you have jobs and you're able to feed your family and build your own houses and buy your own rights? So you're not relying on Side Joseph and Tamafala and the other big government from Logantown to give you a cup of red before you eat. When was the last time in Liberia people stood in line waiting for politicians in front of their gates to buy food? When I was growing up, we never did that.
yeah,
You know, we never did. I don't remember doing that. When the last time we got to be changing t-shirts and running around town just to get food to
yeah,
eat?
we didn't see that.
Look at even under Ellen Sleeve, we were all criticized all the time. Who took over after the war? Look at the number of companies that came into the country and that hired people. Salmon Derby, the big oil company in Bombing County. Golden Verolium, big palm oil company in the southeast. Meta Steel, the Putu Mountain exploration in Grand Jita, exploring the Putu Mountain. All of the businesses, people who had jobs. The economy was growing. People were getting paid and spending their money and expanding. Businesses were opening all over the place. The only single company that remained in the country now is Meta Steel. All the other companies have closed down. People don't have jobs. You take the people jobs away from them. In addition to that, you cut their pay. Somebody making $150. People are making $50, $40, $60 on her Ellen leave. She said, no, people can't live with this. Like care the people pay out $150, $200 for teachers, nurses, $250, etc. You come, you cut the pay in half, you say how much that's in it. Then you take $100 from somebody pay, and you take $25 and pay
A citizen.
for wire fee, and you say you're helping the person. You're not helping the person. And guess what you just did? You just broke down the economy, because every economy thrives on consumer spending. The reason why that woman is able to continue to sell in the market with her bag of rice that she buys from the importer is because people are able to buy that bag her rice, and she's able to make money to go back to the importer. The reason why the importer continues to import the rice is they are buying the rice from her. So she's able to go out of the country to go and import. But if people don't have the purchasing power to buy that cup of rice from that woman, she will not go to the importer. And if people are not going to the importer will not have the money to go outside the country to buy. What happens? That business breaks down. The two, three people that were hired in that business go out of job. That the economy continues to, I mean, begins to go into slumber. That's why these guys did to this economy for the past 6 years. Nothing was happening. Turn people into beggars. Turn people literally into beggars. Young people don't have jobs. So what do? They do zikwe. They go to attire shops and sit there all day as you to pass their time. When a politician passes the
And,
rum behind the politician,
Alfonso,
those who cannot do that go into drugs and crimes. Yeah,
that
go ahead.
deprives
Go
the
ahead.
country. That deprives the country's uh, 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 ability to develop. When you have thousands of young people doing nothing,
That's not good.
when they should be using
Skills.
the youthful age,
Mhm.
that dead Morovia, that dead Liberia, the young people should have been the one cleaning it, mobilizing them, bringing them together. That dead Liberia. But the children sit around doing nothing all day. Now all they can do, run in the street, get t-shirt, get handout, and that's it. How could we bring our country to this? And we got to ready dig ourselves out of this mess. But quickly before we continue, let me just go to intermission here. We'd like to welcome all of you here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us here. Manis Sumo, Flomo Livingstone, Thomas Awaji, and Dorothy Savis. We say thank you all, Gabriel Daniels, for coming in here tonight. It's a pleasure having all of you, Emmanuel Jackson. We see Maria Gadel, Ahmad Freeman, JJ Togba, of course, my man Fergie Monyu. It's good to see you here, Aaron Anderson. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We'll continue the conversation, Christopher Wesley, but we're here Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tonight we're looking at President-Elect Joseph Boakai and how many Liberians are so disgruntled about his ascendancy to the presidency and praying for him to die. He's not a healthy man. They know his health condition. They know he's wearing pacemaker. They know he came to America to seek medical attention. They know that he will not live to the end of his 6 years, and Jeremiah Kuhn will be the president, and Prince Johnson will be the prime minister. They know so many things.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, only God knows tomorrow.
Mhm.
None of us, not even tomorrow. I'm not even going to say tomorrow. None of us know the next moment. If I say many, then I'm quantifying the next moment.
But no one knows.
People have been live on podcasts and pass on and die.
Yeah.
Pilot flying plane, pass on and die.
Yeah.
Driver driving car, passes
That's
out and die. Man sitting in his office signing the check, he passes on and die. So no one knows the next moment. I'm not going to say tomorrow because tomorrow is far-fetched. The next moment. So it could be a second, it could be a minute, it could be an hour, but no man knows the next moment. So when people continue to do stuff like this, it tells us how hateful we are and we're not serious about moving our country forward. But I tell you, President-elect Boakai would pray every day. He would pray for his own health. He would pray for his own strength, like you and I do. He would pray for his family. He would pray for his ministers. He would pray for his government. He would pray for his citizens. He would pray for our investors, our diplomatic partners. He would pray for all of those. He would pray for his church. And interestingly, his church would pray for him. His church members would pray for him. His deacon board would pray for him. So he got more prayers than the people who wishing him evil. That's the beauty of it. Joseph Boakai will have more prayers than the people who are wishing him evil, because all these people will pray for him. So let him continue with their self-fulfilling prophecy that they know too much and that they're wishing him evil. But I think what's important here, so we can move from this now, is that anxiety that is brewing now. We want to see what Mr. Boakai's cabinet going to look like, because that would mean business. That would mean business. What type of cabinet, Moses? What type of cabinet you're looking forward to? When the dust is settled and appointments are made. What type
Well, I have said this and repeatedly. It's not only Moses, but I think
Because I want to make
What?
this clear quick.
Yes.
So that a man in leadership is only as good as his lieutenants, right?
Of course, yeah. That's
If you have lousy lieutenants,
everything
you're
will
gonna fail,
crumble. Mhm.
or you're gonna do all the work.
Of course.
Yeah.
If people just sit back, don't do anything. So the Liberian people look forward to a government that will be made of individuals that are considered competent. A government that will bring together individuals with credibility, people that can be trusted, not a Henry Costa. No, people with integrity. That's the kind of cabinet Liberians are looking forward to. Liberians are looking forward to individuals that have the skills to do the job, that will be appointed not because Mr. Boakai recognizes that the individual was a member of the UP, but the individual lacks the ability to perform, and so that person must go. So that's the dichotomy that Mr. Boakai will have to draw between his leadership and that of Mr. Weah. When George Weah came to the leadership, he was only concerned about the person must be a member of the CDC. And we're not even talking about the coalition.
Interestingly answerable to him as well.
Yeah, individuals who are answerable, and the person must be a member of the CDC, the Congress for Democratic Party. I mean, for Democratic Change, not the coalition, because you saw how they broke out. So many promises were made to the NPP, Tyler's political party, and other political parties that formed the alliance. Those people, even right now, as I speak to you, are still grieving because they never benefited anything. The appointment of individuals did not take into consideration competence, because if Mr. Weah had taken into consideration competence, you would not have a Jefferson Koji as city mayor. No, he's not qualified. He lacks the work experience. He doesn't have the education. He's just not up to the task. You will not have a Samuel Twe as Minister of Finance. This man, Mr. Weah, referred to him as the bookman. But Mr. Twe, is noted for lying about almost everything. That's why people say he's a pathological liar. He lies. So you want somebody with credibility. That's the point I'm driving. You want somebody that will be able to represent your country. That's why I would say, as part of the recruitment process, there are a couple of things that Mr. Boakai and his transitional team should be looking at. Declaring of assets. Before your name is announced, or when your name is announced, in fact, as part of the recruitment process, that list should be submitted. I have a house in Delaware. The house costs $50,000. I have $10 in my bank account. I owe Volcano Shelton $200. Declare, let the people know that you're coming as a broke man. So that when Mr. Boakai appoints you tomorrow as Minister of Agriculture, and after 2 weeks, we see you driving a vehicle that costs $200,000, don't say no, something that adding up. That's the kind of cabinet that I look forward to. That's the cabinet that you.
I think let's play the let me just look at it from the perspective. I'm not sure if that's going to just happen automatically. I think it's possible, but I don't know if it's going to happen. If it's going to happen automatically, and it's my hope that it does.
That they declare of assets.
Yeah.
No, it's part of the law. It's constitutional.
Yeah, disregard what the law is. And I use the word disregard because that has been the modus operandi.
Mhm.
Ellen government disregarded the law. She who have set the tune. George Weah comes, he disregards the law. Boakai will set the tune, hopefully. But that is why we must have these conversations to continue to remind him that it is important.
Yeah.
Now, for everybody, I'm not sure. But here what I want to put forth, and I want you to hear me out, and Alfonso to hear me out. Bottom line here is the executive is a branch of the overall government. But the most powerful branch of the government is the legislature. So if someone who does not declare asset or who've been nominated by the president to stand confirmation hearing, if the House is serious about asset declaration and the fight against corruption, that's the place they can reject that person and put the president back into motion to
Mhm.
find someone who has declared the asset. Because if you leave that to Omen Bwaka, he would just go ahead and start appointing, and maybe the committee responsible for managing asset declaration may also want to try, because this would, let me say this, Alfonso and Moses, there would be people would try this president elect.
Oh yeah.
People would test his age and his ability to remember anything. Trust me. People are going to
Yeah.
try this president elect. They're going to test his age. They said, and they say, and the people who are seeing the man can remember he can sleep whole day. They will test him. But the lieutenants who are responsible, in consonant with our legislature, the president can be ceremonious, and and these branches of government and the lieutenants should make the president ceremonious. They should make the president ceremonious. And what do I mean when I say, what do I mean rather when I say make the president ceremonious? Make the president ceremonious because you're doing the job. Because you're doing your job. The president just come to work. He signs bills. Whatever there for him to do, he does it. But the country is running because his lieutenants, the legislature, the judiciary, they are doing their jobs. So my hope is that, yes, you're saying that the access declaration is a key component of the process of nomination,
Mhm.
but the enforceability will take place when that confirmation hearing is not compromised. And that
True.
confirmation hearing should never be compromised. If one of the basis for being uh, 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 able to pass confirmation is to have your asset declaration done with scrutiny, and not just come here and get all this and say these are the things that we can see it.
Mhm.
And they gotta have facts finding, right?
Oh
Alfonso,
yeah. People will verify.
right?
Yeah.
Gotta do verify. Yeah.
Verification. Yeah.
So that's my thought on it. And let me hear from Alfonso. You muted
Right, you're
yourself.
right. And I was actually just looking for that provision of the law. I was looking for that provision of the
It's
law while you were talking. I will find it later.
it
So
is. Yeah.
definitely yes.
It's constitutional. Yeah.
However, I think the code of conduct that requires access declaration does not say that you must provide your assets before you get confirmed. But Volcano, you're
Um.
correct. Moses, you're correct. The
Mhm.
national legislature can insist on that, can make that, can insist on that, can say we will not confirm you until you declare your assets, because the national legislature has the power, basically, to say and do that. That the president, you cannot move on to take a position if they don't confirm you. So they can introduce that as one of the requirements for you to be confirmed. That is extremely, extremely important. And in fact, I was discussing that with the former chair of the Anti-Corruption Commission on Sunday. And we were saying that is a proposal definitely that should be put on the table as to reform the Code of Conduct law to say that to empower the legislature, which is the Senate in this case that confirms people, to say as soon as you're nominated and you come in, make sure you come in with your asset declaration. Because if you don't have it, we will not confront you. Again, who Boakai appoints, the credibility of the people he appoints, their track record in government, their qualification and experience will be what sends the first message to
And
the
let's
Liberian
step back.
people.
Let's step back. Let's make that quick correction. Instead of track record in government, the track record
Yeah,
in working. Let's put it that way.
in
He
life
said,
in
Let's
he
use
just
general.
said the
Yeah,
work history. Yeah,
yeah,
work
work history.
history.
work,
Because you
work,
got
work,
people in the
work
private sector.
history.
Yeah. Some people
No,
can
you're
come
right.
from the
Work,
private sector and
you're
do
right.
good. Yeah.
Work history, but also let's even go beyond work history. Let's look at personal history as well.
Hmm.
Somebody maybe he's not working, but he's just passing around and just taking people things and maybe following whatever doing things.
Yeah,
It's
say
the
Henry
corruption is
Costa.
not. Yeah, corruption is not just limited swindling people.
No, call
Corruption is not
somebody
just
named Henry Costa. Yeah.
well, you
Call the
can
man
say
name.
name also. You can say that's
Yeah.
so again, who the people that Boakai appoints will determine the level of his seriousness that he approaching this job and this task with. They must be competent and credible people. That's one thing that the WEA administration lacked. It did not have competent and credible people. And Moses, I think you made a point of saying that. Somebody was saying the other day, look, 25% of Liberia's population lives in Monrovia. 25% of that population is the people who are exposed, who went to school, and who have jobs. You take Wahine, that kid at Jefferson Koji,
Port Jefferson
and
Koji. Yeah.
make him the leader of the 25% of the most educated population, most exposed
And
population,
main
like where
city
you make
mayor.
him their
Yeah.
leader. Where you expect them to go? This kid can't even spell his own name, literally. So again, the caliber. So he had no ideas. Volcano, you mentioned it. Why do we have people in the place? What did Mayor Broad do when she was mayor of Monrovia? She mobilized people. She gave students jobs. She gave vacation jobs. She gave students after school jobs to help clean the city. Jefferson Koji didn't have those ideas. Education is about ideas. It's about
But
common
those are
sense.
elementary ideas, Alfonso.
Yeah.
Elementary. It doesn't take
Yes.
much to even
You
think
don't,
outside of the
yeah,
box.
you don't have to
These
be a
are elementary
PhD to do
ideas.
that.
Yeah, just clean it up. You can do
Look
that.
at look at what happened the other day when the citizens mobilized and said we're going to claim Monrovia ahead of JMB inauguration. I was telling somebody we were having a conversation, and I was saying, as students, you know what they used to do? We all did that. Students used to go and clean and do public service, clean public work. We clean, student will go clean this public space, we go clean this other public space, and those kinds of things. For those of us who grew up in counties, they used to mobilize people, men in the towns and in the villages and in the cities, to clean by the side of the roads and stuff like that, and the females will probably cook. That's public service. That's public service core. It's not different from the volunteerism that people do here in this country. We form a voluntary group to go clean this place, to go clean this place. Martin Luther King birthday, we're cleaning all of these places today. That's exactly what we're doing in our country. You just needed the basic common sense and idea to do those things. And Monrovia would have been clean, and Buchanan would have been clean, and Ganta would have been clean if we have people with those ideas. But you have to put competent and qualified people in positions because they are the ones who have the ideas. Mr. We have failed to do that.
So I
Look
can
at the
imagine.
economic policy.
I can
Yeah,
imagine the
look at the
scrambling right
economic. Yeah, exactly. Look at the economic policy that Mr. Finance Minister put into place. Somehow more cut people pay. Then he said we took people out of poverty. You
Hmm.
created more poverty, sir. If I
Of
was
course.
making $100 and $100 made it possible for me to rent a room and buy a bag of rice and send my child to school and send my wife to go to the clinic, But you took $50 from my one horse. I can no longer buy a bag of rent. I can no longer pay rent. I can no longer send my child to school. I can no longer send my wife to the hospital. How did you take me out of poverty? You pushed me into poverty. The other
Of
person, the
course.
$50 you took from me, and the other person you gave it to is also still in poverty. Nobody has
Mhm.
come out of poverty. Poverty
So,
doesn't. So what kind of economic policy is that? But when you don't know, when these children they start halfway in education and they just get big mouth and want to make noise, and then you put them in place to run a whole country, that's what happens. You give grown people job to kids. Like one of my friends, I will not say his name, used to always say, Alfonso, the inmates are now running the asylum. The inmates are running the asylum. What he basically meant was the prisoners are the ones who are now in charge of running the prison facility. Imagine the chaos and the confusion. And that's exactly what Liberia was. And I
see,
think
I think
ANC
Ken,
chairman, ANC
Alfonso.
chairman, yeah,
Look,
go ahead.
let me
Yeah.
just say, don't say that's what Liberia was. Say that's what Liberia is.
Oh, okay.
Until January, that what
Oh,
Liberia is.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
Go
I,
ahead.
no, I was saying Cummings put it right. I believe a comment who said the country was on autopilot, but
Autopilot, yeah.
then he messed it up later on by going and voting for the country to remain on autopilot. So yeah, but the country was
Well, how
based.
sure are you that they never voted for autopilot?
Well, I'm assuming. I want Riverside Protocol attack me. So,
I love my man. Is that coming?
you know,
Mr. Tumbese.
yeah. After you say the country on autopilot, we can crash at any time because it can't land itself. When you're on autopilot, you're going. You need somebody to save you, but you refuse to save the
He said, I
country.
need to, oh, I need
Yeah,
to.
it's a neutral. The other plane go crash out of business. That's basically what you were saying. But yes, that's it, guys. So you're right. The appointees that Mr. Barker does, whether they are tinted or they don't have tinted characters, that's important. Whether they're qualified, that's very important. Look, in any organization, it is not the ideas. It's not your good ideas. I published something the other day from one of my professors, Professor Sam Baccarat. He said it's not your good ideas that matter. It's two things that matter. Is implementation of those good ideas and your ability to bring people along to implement those ideas. That's what matters. He said a lot of people have good ideas. A lot of people have good ideas. But it's the implementation that makes the difference. And that's what Barca needs to look for because Liberia and Liberians are yearning for a change and they want it very fast. If you delay, you will get in trouble.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Listen, we got to let go of this conversation. We wrapping up now, so we go to memory lane. It's 8:25 here in the city. Our man Manisumo sent us something, and this one is "Don't say I can, tell you can." Okay, so this is memory lane tonight, written by Dr. Manisumo, titled "Don't say I can, tell you can." Let's go down memory lane. You remember when our old people told us to never rush to judgment? They told us not to judge a man because of his looks, nor should we claim to know something or everything since we have not completely known it. It was not too long ago, not very long ago, when a smart and enthusiastic young man whose ambition was to become a pilot finally got a job with an airlines company as an orderly. One day, while cleaning the cabin of the pilot, he claimed he rather came across a book entitled How to Become a Pilot as a Beginner. He was impressed, and so he stopped the cleaning and opened the first page of the book, and he read, "To start the engine of the plane, press the blue button." He pressed the blue button, and the engine of the plane started. He turned to the second page and read, "To run the plane, press the yellow button." He pressed the yellow button, and the plane began to run on the runway smoothly. Then he turned to the third page and read, "To fly the plane, press the green button." He pressed the green button, and the plane began to fly smoothly. After 30 minutes of flying, he was satisfied with the flight, so he decided to land the plane. He turned to the fourth page and read, "To land the plane, please purchase a copy of the next edition to this book."
I like that.
Now, you know what happened next? You see, in life, don't ever try to do a job until you have completed the learning of such job. Do not argue a topic you have not completely read about. Don't say because you work in a tailor shop, so that means you can sew. You must first completely learn how to sew. Don't say that because you were once the world's best football player and a celebrity, that means you can be the best leader. You must first completely prepare to lead, to be a leader. Don't say because you have seen many Christmas celebrations rather, so you know how to make your own Christmas. You must first completely accept Jesus Christ as your personal Savior before evangelizing. Read the entire book before starting the engine. Did you read the full job description of the office of the president before assuming office? The Liberian Constitution sets minimum but not maximum age thresholds for president and members of the Liberian Senate and the House of Representatives. The minimum age is 35 for the presidency, 30 for a senator, and 25 for a representative. The Chief Justice and Justices of the Supreme Court must be 30 years old to be eligible. If you read completely, you will know. Do you know a president should have a strong vision for the country's future? Do you know that the president must have the ability to put his or her own time in the perspective of history? Do you know the president must have effective communication skills, the courage to make unpopular decisions, crisis management skills, good character and integrity, make wise appointments, and the ability to work across the aisle? Boakai, Boakai. Did you read completely? We want the credibility and integrity of our presidency restored. Liberia is a nation, not a notion. I repeat, Liberia is a nation, not a notion. And this one is written here. He says, "I come in peace" by Manis Sumo, and hope you enjoyed it. It's titled, "Don't Say I Can Till You Can." Gentlemen, welcome to What Type of Country Is This?
Yeah. Thank you. What type of country is this? That the CDC has threatened to expel Mr. Weah. What type of country is this?
But what type of country is this? The same CDC we heard today that is threatening to expel Lester Tenney. So by the time we get to 2029, the whole party will have been expelled.
And what type of country is this that we are hearing that the CDC has decided to give the party to Mr. Alexander Cummings, the man who got less than 2% of the vote?
Yeah, I heard they were in a dialogue.
Yeah. The CDC. Some insiders of the CDC have reported that they are contemplating on giving the party to Mr. Cummings to run there.
I mean, I know he got to pay something. Oh.
Yeah, but I was surprised. That I say, what type of country is this that Mr. This guy Gray?
Macaros?
No, not Gray. From Minnesota, man. He used to be with him. He's part of the ANC. One Gray. He's on
Remy?
Spoon.
Remy Gray.
Remy Gray, yeah. And I heard Remy Gray say last night that Mr. Cummings is bad off in leadership, just as George Weah is.
Hmm.
He said Mr. Cummings is a spoiler.
Hmm.
Everywhere he go, he breaks down institutions. So Cummings is no different from Mr. Weah.
So I
couldn't wrap my head around
think
that.
there's a disparity here, right? And the disparity or the disconnect here is that Mr. Cummings rather may be much better in a private sector
Yeah, in
where
corporate,
there's
yeah.
accountability, where
Yeah,
there's board, where there's structure holding you
yeah.
accountable compared to public institutions, public
Institutions.
sector, where he doesn't have the understanding.
Mhm.
And so every time he comes there, there's a hullabaloo that they got to deal with. So I think so.
Yeah, I think that's where Remy was
Yeah.
speaking
So,
from
so
because
Remy may have said his lack of experience in the public sector and especially Liberian public sector. It's a different kind of public sector because the public sector here in America is still on a structure.
Mhm.
There's still a good high degree of accountability, but in Liberia's public structure is different.
Mhm.
And that's where that issue comes. But what type of country is this? Thomas Flomo Livingston rather says that other Liberians will wish ill to another Liberian.
I tell you, what type of country is this? What type of country is this that you have a young man who should rather be engaged in something productive, but instead he's all over the place, wishing an elected president evil? What type of country is this?
But what type of country is this that the president-elect got a late trip to Kanto, then the president outgoing decided to leave the country too?
What type of country is this that we have the two,
Yeah.
presidents outside the country at the same time?
Well, right now, Liberia got two presidents. We got one
Yeah.
outgoing, we got one incoming.
One, yeah. What type of country is this,
The two
Alphonso?
presidents at level.
The country is on autopilot.
What type,
So right now, Jeremiah,
what type of country is it? Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, what type of country is it? The president who leave in January decided to go to a 3-4 week conference to commit a government that he will not even be running or presiding over in climate change.
What type of country is this?
And that's a race.
That's a serious one.
That's a serious race. What
Yeah,
the guy,
that's a serious
what the
one.
guy selling right now? That they call it the last rush, eh?
Yeah, last
Well,
round.
the
Yeah.
time already, we actually be signing no document anywhere right
No.
now.
But man, right now the man is a lame dog president. He should
Yeah.
not be signing any kind of a major contract.
Except it's an emergency, that's the responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
You cannot
Yeah.
be committing
Yeah, you
the country
cannot.
so
You-
far.
you
You shouldn't be
committing
spending
that
certain
income.
You
amount
know,
of
enough to
money.
make the country to 1.2 billion debt, then you still won't be doing all kind of funny thing yet. All right, down the audio will get serious now. The audio will get serious because he's still trying to stay hostile. But what type of country is this? Emmanuel Jackson, the CC wants to give Fawaz, Lebanese businessman, exclusive monopoly to import cooking oil and bottle it at the advantage. No, it's at the disadvantage
Yeah.
to a local cooking oil producer. Wow.
What type of country is this?
But this is the government that was giving rice importers $10 million as subsidy. But
Yeah,
put
what type
$3
of
million
country?
in
11,
the
11,
agriculture budget.
11. Let me add one more
11
million.
million.
Yeah, $11 million.
Yeah. 11
What type
million,
of
but
country
put
is
$3
this?
million in the Ministry of Agriculture budget. Yeah.
What
$3
type of
million.
country is this? I'm a Fremo. When the police can sit and allow the citizens to burn down a current representative home.
Yeah. In fact, in
Oh,
Grand Julia County.
Mhm.
In fact,
oh,
I am told that a representative by the name Wong Gwen, uh,
Yeah.
I think he was murdered. Yeah,
Yeah. Matter of fact,
he
uh,
died. Yeah,
yeah, I will find something here.
Grand Julia right now is
wow,
in
he was
crisis.
murdered. He was
Yeah,
Yeah,
murdered.
that's the
mhm,
speculation.
yeah, that's a speculation. Yeah, the
What
man
type of
died.
country is this, Thomas Awaji, where our young people are dying in the streets because of politics?
Yeah, what type of country is this?
What type of country is this, Gabriel Daniels? When the coalition for democratic change is falling apart and even only the disgruntled elements in disarray.
Yeah, bro.
What type of
What
country
type
is
of
this?
country is
That the CDC government forgot that they are still the ruling party until January 2022. I mean,
Absolutely.
January 22nd, 2024.
What type of
What type
country
of
is
country is
this?
this? Thomas Awaji comes back. What type of country is this? Where the diaspora seditions are talking more nonsense than the people at home.
Wow. So,
That was a good one.
what type of country is
Those will
this?
be fighting the battle, being crying that
What type of country is this that Dr. Lester Tini said John Weir is ungrateful?
he said, don't infuriate also. Don't infuriate also.
What type of country is it, Dr. Lester Tini said, Lord, Francois Gray, I'm just waiting for January to come. When I come after you, you have to fly to America.
Let me put this all quick, man. Quick. Hang on there, okay?
Oh my God.
Let me put this all quick. So this is what was our man Tyrone. So he
Okay.
says this guy, this is the man. This is the man we're talking about
Oh,
here.
that's the guy that died, right? In
Yeah.
Grand Juliet?
So Tyrone sent this to me, and
Yeah.
I just thought to throw it out here just to pay homage to him. He said the gentleman was one of the co-founders of the Liberia Returning Network.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were probably out there in exile when they
Okay.
decided to establish the LRN or
Mhm.
LRN Incorporated. And
Yeah.
this is him. So let me just put his photo up here and give you a little zoom here.
Oh. But this guy face look familiar.
So yeah, this is the guy. This is him. Um,
I remember him.
this is him here again.
Madison Gwen
So
Senior.
Errol Madison Graham
Yeah.
Sr. And he was the one elected. He was elected to the House.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So he hasn't taken his seat yet.
The man was elected, and then
So that's him there.
said I think someone died. I don't know what really happened in Grand Julia, but
So he and Tyrone are together here on this photo.
photo. Okay.
So that's him here, and that's Tyrone here, and that's him here. Yeah.
What type of country is this, man?
Yeah. So on behalf of the Liberia Returning Network and the leadership headed by Tyrone Marshall, the Issues Room, we want to extend our deepest sympathy to the family of the late Mr. Guion. May his soul rest in peace. It's unfortunate how politics have taken over our ability to rationalize as a people. You know, people have just become so disgruntled. You have become so evil, and we have a lot of work to do. Really, as a society, we have a lot of work to do. It's not just this president-elect; it's collective, man. Everybody has to be involved. Let's go back to what type of country is this, Gabriel and Daniels? What type of country is this when the coalition is leaving the coalition with the Congress for Democratic Change?
Yeah. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this? Wow, that's a shame, man. That's my man, Emmanuel Jackson. But he comes here with the Liberian Army assigned soldiers at B Mountain private company against the rights of Liberian workers.
Wow. What type of country is this?
Then you take a military and assign them to private company against the will of the people.
Mm-hmm. What type of country is this when you're not sure what will be your monthly salary as a result of the harmonization?
What type of country is this?
They pay you $50 this pay period, and you expect pay next month. You go to the bank, you get $40. So you just have consistent instability in your income. What type of country is this?
But what type of country is this? That in one picture now, President-Elect Boakai and his wife, Siska Tumu, talk with Stanton Witherspoon. Everybody putting the muff on. The president now, they say he will not get no aid from America because the man took picture with criminal, a known felon. What type of country is this? But what type of country is this? The same condition this man is facing. Stanton Witherspoon is facing. Your man Funati Kofa in Liberia faced that situation.
You run
And
into
now
the
you
speaker.
getting for this man to be speaker. So what type of country is this?
What type of country is this when you turn around and vote for Natana McGill? What type of country is this? The man is sanctioned from stealing. The U.S. government sanctioned the man for stealing from your country. But you still voted the man.
But the same thing now. What type of country is this that your president funded the man campaign? Your sitting president, George Weah, funded the man campaign. Your sitting president is the same one advocating for Funati Kofa to be president. The other one here, Joseph Boakai, only take picture. And what if Stanton went to meet Boakai at the airport or somewhere, wherever they met?
As a Liberian, what's the problem with that?
Yeah. So Stanton and I in handcuff, Stanton and I in orange jumpsuit. So why they making the thing a big deal?
You are less busy, man. And, let them find something to talk about. Look, as a as a critical voice, we are monitoring developments in Liberia. When the news break and we have to speak to those stories, we will. We will surely do.
What type of country is this, Emmanuel Jackson? Ledger's employees have been paid salaries for 1 year and 4 months.
Wow. Will they get paid from now to January, Volcano?
No, the people Christmas will be bad in that country, man.
No, but Volcano,
the people
will these people get paid from now to January?
No, that's some of the salary, outstanding salary that the Boakai government will inherit.
Yeah.
What type of country is this where the elected president closed Boy Henry is wishing him death?
Yeah. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this, man?
What type of country is this that an incoming administration will be bombarded with so much economic challenges, salaries not being paid for foreign service employees, salaries not being paid for local public servants, hospitals in trouble, schools in trouble, the national security in trouble, Volcano. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this that will sensationalize everything?
Yeah.
Even the little things, the smallest of things, we magnify them, we turn them into mountains. What type of country is this? What type of country is this, Thomas Awaji, where the people in the diaspora are so less busy than the people on the ground? I mean, I'm less busy here. I'm thinking you,
Thomas Awaji.
What 7 days a week.
Thomas,
I'm
not less busy.
Trying to wrap up.
And let me just say this, Thomas, when I go to work, I can barely answer my cell phone, my brother. So now I leave my cell phone in my office and I'm so engaged, I can't even answer my cell phone.
When I leave work, I can be sapped. I'm telling you. I even know tonight, in fact, tonight I didn't have the strength to do the show. I won't lie to
Thank you,
you.
man.
But the truth is, because of our love for what we do, once we sit behind the microphone, we get animated.
Yeah.
But there are days, my brother, we can be really, really tired.
Very busy, my
I
man.
saw Moses nodding just now. He was nodding.
I tell you, Volcano.
I saw you
Yeah.
nodding.
I mean, we get real busy, man.
What type of country is this, man? This is when the best president since 1847 is leaving office with several months of unpaid salary.
Liberia best preso.
Man, that's a good one. That the same people that say he's the best president,
Yeah, preso.
let
Yeah.
him feed it. And I ain't got nothing to send to Liberia for Christmas. Nobody bother me because I say the hustle not easy. Nobody bring a Christmas thought to me.
I tell you,
In fact, I would shut down from Facebook for the whole 1 week. My man, the issue will go on our Christmas break.
we want nobody calling in.
I won't be near no Facebook. I won't see nobody both in the place.
You wake up in the morning, my man. Everybody bombarding your cell phone, your inbox.
What type of country is this? Emmanuel Jackson, a candidate, comes third place in the election and takes the winner to court at NEC.
Yeah.
Cape Mount senatorial race.
Oh,
yeah.
A candidate comes third place in the election and takes the winner to court at NEC.
But how you think like the winner, the one that ran the election?
Yeah.
You go to the NEC. You blame the winner. Hey, man.
Oh, God.
But most people got to go by.
Yeah, it was indeed a great show. But
tired, man. We're tired.
I just want to say thank you for coming. And please, man, look, let us learn to show love. That's how I like to wrap it. Let's learn to show love. Let's put all this evil behind us. Evil will take you nowhere. To wish another person death? Yeah, that's to the extreme, man. You can't do that. Let's be human here. Thank you, Volcano. It was a pleasure being here.
Washington Dolo, thanks for joining us. Hashim Fambule, Adiaha Omo, Fergie Monyu, Tony and Brooks. It was a pleasure having you in the house with us here tonight. Emmanuel Jackson, Flomo Livingstone, Mohammed Kurman, Maria Gardell. Good to see all of you here with us tonight. Christopher Wesley, Gabriel Daniels, of course. It's always good to have you in the house. Ahmad Frimer, one of our major viewers. We say thank you for joining us, Emmanuel Jackson. JG Togba. It was good seeing you here, my brother. Come back again. Irene Anderson.
Come back. It's a pleasure having you, Irene.
Come back. Manan Sumo, of course. Raymond Clark. Thank you for joining us. Patrick Johnson. S. Edward Nefor. It was good seeing you. Continue to share the link. Invite others here when we come back. On Friday, we look forward to a wide range of audience and contribution as usual. What we do here, we do it for the love of our country. And it doesn't matter who's in control. We just want to make sure that we're reaching out to enlighten our society. We say thank you for joining us here, Liberia. Mayango Govigo Sr. Good to see you, my man. Listen, I was just asking someone for you. Let's catch up tomorrow. Good to see you. Thank you to everyone who showed up here tonight. Continue to love us, like us, and follow us. Moses?
Yeah. Thank you. Great show.
Shelton.
All right.
And we say good night from the issues room. T.A. Thomas Awaji. Good night, my brother. Oh, and by the way, his sister, Rose Awaji, she's a very, very Ivy follower.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good.
So congratulations, Rose, for being there with us. And it's in the family.
Thank you, Rose. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Good night, all. Bye-bye.
Bye.